Alright, Flat Rate Mechanic here, and today we are going to be doing a flat tire repair the fast, easy DIY way. Couple things we're going to need is some probably soapy water so we can find the flat. We got a reamer tool, we got our tire plugs here, which are very sticky as you can see. We have our tire plug installer that we're going to be using to repair this flat. And we got some side dikes to get the screw or nail or whatever it is we might find in that tire out. Also, we're going to have a little lube here to aid in getting this tire plug in. Also, a good idea to have is a 12-volt air pump to pump your tire up. You should always keep in your trunk at all times. They're relatively cheap. I'll be sure to leave a link in the video description below where you can get the air pumps for your tire. I don't really recommend using the Fix-A-Flat only because they make a huge mess. But stay tuned, we'll show you how to do this. Alright, so we got our car up in the air here because I'm at a shop, so I have the luxury of a car lift. If you don't have a car lift, then obviously you're going to have to jack it up and be sure to support it properly. In most cases, it's probably best to take your tire off. But here, I got up on the lift. I have the e-brake set so the tire doesn't spin. I've already identified my leak here with some leak check. You can see it bubbling a little bit. I actually have a leak check fluid. I'll also leave that in the video description below. But you can just use soapy water. Soapy water works great. If you find the nail or screw, you're going to want some side dikes to pull that screw out with. And in this case, I just have a really tiny pinhole here, and I can't really find anything that's punctured the tire itself. But I can definitely see it leaking here. So I'm going to take the reamer tool and put it in here, and I'm going to have to ream this hole big enough to be able to insert that tire plug. So you're also going to want to take the soapy water and be sure to spray it inside of your valve stem where you add air. Make sure that's not leaking, and also around where the rubber meets your rim. Sometimes corrosion will build up in between the rubber and the wheel and cause your tire to leak that way. So just be sure to check those areas as well. You just want to, when you're reaming this tire out to repair it, you just want to make sure you get that hole big enough so it's not too hard to be able to slide the tire plug in. I'm going to put a little lube on this to make it a little easier. And I'm going to continue reaming this out until the tool moves relatively easily to make sure I can get that plug in. Now if you're doing this on the ground or on a front tire, basically you just spray the tire down and just check it. If it's on a front tire, you have the luxury of being able to turn the wheel one way or the other so you can get to the tread a little better without actually physically having to remove the tire. And like I said, if you have one of those little 12-volt pumps that you can plug into your cigarette lighter, those things are great. Also, at the end of the video here, I'm going to show you how to properly inflate the tire and to where to find the proper inflation pressure. And what many people don't know is you do not want to go by what's on the side of the tire, and I'll get into that more later on in the video here. But we got this all reamed out enough. I'm going to put a little lube on the end of this tire plug after I've got it pushed through the installer. So I got a little lube on the end of that. Some kits come with cement, rubber cement. That will also aid in pushing this in. This was a pretty small hole, so sometimes they can be tough to get through, but usually the harder they go in, usually the better they seal. So cement is not necessary though. Not really a permanent tire repair. Many people would consider this to be. Usually the plug is just temporary to get you home or to get you to the tire repair shop. Most tire repair shops are going to plug your tire from the inside, but from my experience, these tire plugs are great. I've never really had any issues. You're always going to want to check it after to make sure it doesn't leak, but I've never had any problems with these tire plugs. They last pretty good. The only thing is if it's on the outer tread or to the sidewall, it's not going to be a repairable tire. So, but in this case, it's definitely repairable. I got my plug in here now. I'm going to use the side dikes to trim it up. Or in my case, I'm actually going to go ahead and take a razor blade. That way I can just get it nice and flush to the tread. And you're just going to want to leave about a quarter of that plug sticking out before you trim off. Once we get this tire plug trimmed down, I'm going to take some leak check or soapy water, whatever you have at your disposal, and you're going to want to verify that your repair isn't leaking. Alright, so it looks like this tire repair was successful and this flat tire is fixed. I'm not seeing any bubbles here, so there you have it. Alright, so on this tire, on the side, you can see it says maximum pressure. Let me focus here. Maximum pressure, 51 psi max. So that is not what you're going to want to fill this tire to. That is actually the maximum capacity of this tire. So blowing up to 51 psi is not good. Where you're going to find what you should blow it up to is on the inside of your door panel. It's going to say front tire 32 psi, on this one rear tire 43 pounds. On every car you're going to find those tags, and that's where you're going to want to properly inflate your tire to. So now that we check that, we're going to go ahead and inflate this tire up, and I'm probably going to recheck that leak again just to make sure we don't have any issues. But that about does it for this tire repair video. I hope it was helpful for you guys. If it was, be sure to hit the thumbs up button, and if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to my channel, The Flat Rate Mechanic, and I appreciate you guys watching. Thanks again.